This is the Cynch Lock wood pull fall restricting device. It's the strongest and easiest to use device on the market. It's ASTM and CSA AB certified. You can use it on dry poles, poles with conduit, wet poles, even poles covered in ice. In this video, I'm going to show you how to inspect it, how to use it, and I'm going to show you some advantages that this has over the others. If you've never climbed in a fall restricting device, you may find this technique helpful. By taking the strap off of the Cynch Lock, we can place it around the pole, and with our climbers, step up a couple steps. I've got my hands almost touching the wood, and I'm pulling my chest in as close as I can. The objective here is to move the strap up and down without dragging it. I'm going to place it down low and place it up high. And the slower and smoother I do that, the easier it's going to be for me to climb in this system. We don't want to be dragging it up and down. Chest close, move the strap up and down. To connect the Cynch Lock, the body support carabiner is going to the D-rings on your tool belt. Also make sure that this rope grab is lying flat straight across so the rope comes all the way through and the tail goes out to the side. Take your tail and put it in either a breakaway hook or stick it into a tool loop so it's out of your way. And you're ready to go. Now we're ready to connect the Cynch Lock to the pole. I'll take the captive eye carabiner out of the adjuster, place it around the pole, drop the carabiner right back inside the eye of the adjuster. When you're connecting, make sure that you never connect in the end of the strap. This is not a connection point. Always connect into the adjuster eye only. The cleat placement is important because the cleats engage the wood and they help stop the device in the event of a fall. To make sure that your cleats are in the proper position for climbing, with the Cynch Lock around the pole, move the adjuster forward until the center cleats on both sides of the Cynch Lock are in a position that will contact the pole when you lean back in the lanyard. When you're working out of the Cynch Lock with both hands free, spread the adjuster out until the rear cleats on both sides of the Cynch Lock are contacting the pole. This helps the belt stay in place. Being spread out also reduces the pinching on my hips. Now I can keep the belt high, and I can really reduce the pressure on my feet and back while I'm working. The last and final adjustment is for the extreme conditions, slippery poles and icy poles. For that, I'm going to move my cleats all the way to the back half of the pole. You can see how extreme this adjustment is. I'll move around so you can see how far back and how close they are together on the back. On an icy pole, you're going to want to make sure that you have your cleats always on the back half of the pole. Adjusting this new Cynch Lock is very easy. I'm going to show you 3 different ways to move the adjuster block forward and 1 way to move it back. The easiest way to adjust the Cynch Lock is just by pulling the strap out and around towards the back of the pole. What I do here is I'll put my hand on the back of the pole and the strap. Pull your body forward and then pull the strap out and around towards the back. The second adjusting option requires 2 hands, but you can see that I can make that adjustment very smooth without shaking the pole, and I also don't have to reach very far forward to make the adjustment. Pull forward, turn and hold, take the offhand and shove it forward. Again, pull forward, turn, and shove forward. I can also adjust the Cynch Lock while I'm climbing. All I have to do is pull my body forward. I keep pressure on the back of the strap against the pole, and I'll pull the strap out and towards the back of the pole. I can literally go clear to the top, staying in adjustment the entire time, never having to stop. By pulling my body forward with my hands on the straps, I put my thumb and finger on the adjuster block. As soon as there's tension released from the inside lanyard by pulling forward, I can drag it back without any effort at all. If you have any problems doing this, try making sure that there's some daylight between the adjuster and the pole. Pull your body forward, holding the strap, thumb and finger on the block. As soon as I see daylight, it'll move back. Another advantage of the cinch lock is that I can actually adjust as I descend the pole. So coming down, I could creep it out a little bit at a time. My hands never come off the strap, and I never have to stop. To adjust your body away from the pole, I'll be placing my thumb inside this carabiner and collapsing this rope grab together. So pull your body forward by putting your hand on the back of the pole, collapse the rope grab, lean back until you're in a comfortable position. To go back to the pole, I'll place my hand on the back of the pole and then take the tail of the rope directly straight at the pole. When you're adjusting the web version of the cinch lock, you'll have to move the friction buckle back at a 90-degree angle to release it. So by pulling forward with my body, I'll hold this back at 90 degrees. Then I can slowly lean back and allow the web to travel through the friction buckle. When I come back, I'll take the tail of the web and pull directly at the pole while I'm pulling my body forward. When you're going to reach and you know you're going to lay all the way out, make sure that the tail of the rope is free. I'll place my hand in front of the rope grab, and I'll place my thumb on the eye of the rope grab, my fingers underneath the body. I'll throw my body forward just slightly in order to collapse that rope grab like that. While squeezing this together and holding it loose, I'll use my left hand and slowly break my grip. To climb in the cinch lock, we'll begin by connecting the device to the pole. Make sure that you never hold your hand inside this carabiner while you're climbing. If you were to fall while you held this carabiner, you'll prevent the device from being able to restrict, and you'll roll the cleats away from the pole so they don't contact the wood. On the cinch lock, our hand placement is always on the brown strap. One hand is placed behind the D, the other is right up against the adjuster block. This is not only ergonomically correct, but it gives us complete control while we're climbing. Some climbers have a tendency to hold back really far. I'd recommend that you go ahead forward where you can actually feel this on your hand. That gives you a little bit more control and feel on the strap. We'll make sure that this is adjusted correctly by having our center cleats in a position that will contact the pole. So I'll pull forward so that when I lean back in the lanyard, I can see that my center cleats are contacting. Now I'm ready to climb. Pull forward, and just like our training technique, we're not going to be sliding the strap up and down. Pull forward, and we're going to place the strap in increments as we move up and down the pole. As I climb the pole, the diameter of the pole is going to decrease. So you're going to see me adjust this as I'm climbing. But I can do that on the fly without ever stopping and without ever taking my hand off this strap. So pull my body forward and a nice and easy flip with the cinch lock. You'll see that I adjust. Right there I adjusted, and I adjust it again. Once I'm at the top, I can spread this strap out into the work position. So now I can lean out, keep this tool high, and it really gives me a big advantage while I'm up here working. To come back down, I can also keep this in adjustment as I come down the pole. So I'll pull her back. As I descend, I will put my thumb and finger on the adjuster block and hold the strap at the same time. That allows me to keep creeping this back just a little bit at a time as I'm coming down the pole. When I'm going to climb transmission size poles, all I have to do with the cinch lock is change out the strap. So I'll pull the internal lanyard out of the cinch lock. There's my distribution strap. And I will change to our standard transmission size strap. All I have to do is thread the rope through, and you can see how versatile the cinch lock is. Another thing that's really nice about the cinch lock is that because we have complete control of this strap by holding on to it, it really allows me to climb up and down on the transmission size poles really easy. So I toss my strap around the pole, connect, and you'll see that I can really maneuver the strap as I'm climbing. So it's real simple, nice strides, doesn't get hung up, it moves just like a traditional safety. When transferring over obstructions, you're going to need a secondary positioning belt, or strap, or in this case, a rope lanyard. This is an 8-foot lanyard, and it's going to make transitioning a whole lot faster and a whole lot easier. I'll climb up to the obstruction that I'm going to transfer. Take the secondary and go over the top. Pull all the slack out until your cinch lock is completely loose. Then I can take it out of adjustment and I can make my transfer nice and easy. Go right through my secondary, step up, connect, readjust, and take the secondary off the pole. When you're coming back down, leave yourself a gap. I'll place the secondary over the pole, loosen the cinch lock, walk down. If I need some extra room with a rope grab, I can loosen this so that I can get clear below my obstruction. Put the cinch lock back on the pole, tighten it, and step up to loosen the secondary lanyard. Because of the design of the cinch lock, I can transfer all of my load and all the weight of my body without taking this belt out of adjustment, and I don't have to go through all those extra steps. So to go over the top, I recommend taking the secondary rope lanyard and place it loosely over the top of the obstruction. I can just take my cinch lock now and twist. Disconnect with my left hand, take the strap up, fold, and reconnect with my left hand. When I'm coming back down underneath, I'll do the same thing. Leave a little bit of room so that I can put my secondary strap there between the cinch lock and the obstruction, but I'm leaving it loose. Now I can twist the strap, disconnect, climb down, place it back on the pole, reconnect. If you want to become really quick at transferring with the cinch lock, then you'll want to learn this plunge method. By taking your secondary over the top of the obstruction, leaving it loose, I can plunge my hands through, disconnect, walk up, reconnect, disconnect at the same time. The belt's already in adjustment. I'm ready to go. Coming back down, I'll take my secondary over the obstruction, reach around, disconnect, and reach under and reconnect while disconnecting. Fall protection equipment needs to be inspected before each use. On the cinch lock, it's really easy to do. We'll look at the brown strap. We're looking for cuts or tears or nicks. We're also looking for the red core or the wear indicator to show through that brown strap anywhere along here. Look for rivets to make sure that they're all intact. Everything looks good on rivets. I'll also be checking my cleats to make sure that everything's solid. There's nothing broken on my cleats. Everything looks good on the D-ring. My adjuster block, although it's one solid piece, there's not a lot to inspect. We still want to make sure the adjuster block moves freely. When I pull forward, it holds. When I pull back, it moves back. We'll be looking along the entire length of the rope for damage on the jacket. Make sure that you move the fabric all the way across and feel the rope. Everything looks good on the rope. I'll check my rope grab. Make sure the rope grab has a little bit of spring action there, and it will slide up and down the rope. Look at it, make sure there are no cracks or anything wrong with it. captive eye carabiner. Operate your carabiners. Every time that you check a carabiner, you should operate it and make sure that it releases and closes fully. I'll do that with all of my carabiners. They all look good. Stitching on the rope, thimble, everything here looks good. Protective jacket, rubber washers. That's really all there is to your cinch lock rope version. On the web version, we're going to inspect the strap the exact same way that we did on the rope. But here we're going to concentrate on the web. Pull your hands all along the webbing. Now don't ignore the webbing that goes through the friction buckle. Pull that friction buckle out of the way so you can see all of the web all the way to the end. The friction buckle itself, make sure that it's intact, everything looks good and solid. It does move back and forth. My carabiners, I operate my carabiners twice. I release them, they close fully and they lock. The captive eye that's on the web looks good. Also check the end stitching, the end termination, everything looks good. That's the inspection on the web version.